Well, hello and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to visit Härdla Fortress and have a stroll and talk about, oh no, the car is full of ice. Oh, it's a cold day here. Motorhome. Anyway, let's get rid of the ice and I will see you on Härdla Fortress. So, and welcome to Härdla Fortress. But we are not here today to talk about Härdla Fortress in particular. We are here to talk about taking your motorhome to Spain. Is there any hints, tips or tricks that can be useful for you? Or is there anything that can make life a little bit easier when going to Spain? Coming up. So, me coming from Norway, I am used to only having the registration card in the vehicle and that's it. But do you need anything more when going to Spain? Yes, you do. You will be crossing countries like Germany, France, into Spain, and you do need to have some more documents. So what you need to carry is, of course, the registration card or proof of ownership. You also need to have proof of insurance, which we are not used to. It can easily be downloaded from the webpage of your insurance company. And of course, you need a valid driver's license. Let's say, for instance, Germany. Germany is Ordnung muss sein. If you are pulled over in Germany and you do not have the correct papers, things can get a little bit rough. So it's quite easy. Driver's license, registration card and proof of insurance. That's it. You're good to go. And so, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how do you get yourself to Europe? So I live in Scandinavia and I know the cost of different ways to get down to the continent. So here I'm going to talk about, first of all, ferries. So I live in the western parts of Norway and we have a direct ferry going to Denmark. Rates here can vary between 300 euros and up to 800 euros. It depends on when and how I am booking the trip. So if you know well in advance that you are leaving on such and such a date, book well ahead in time. Booking early always gives you the lowest rates. Also, all of the ferry companies do have membership clubs. They are free to join and they do give you discounts. Also, if you have like I know it's a common thing in Scandinavia. I do not know about, for instance, UK, but in Scandinavia, for instance, if you are having, for instance, a credit card, or you have your insurance company, they all have different benefits. So you can look online and you can see, does any one of those provide me a discount on the ferries? Many of them do. Especially if you are leaving from Oslo, it is possible via diverse things that you are a member of or a customer of to get discounts. Then, as I said, join the member clubs. A downside to that is they will bombard you with emails regarding this and that, and will you travel with us next week and next week and next week, and it just gets frustrating. Easy tip is join the membership club. When you receive your first email, according to law, they will have to give you the opportunity to sign off their mailing list. So just scroll down to the bottom of the email. It says unsubscribe, click there, and you will get no notifications. But you are still a member and you will still get the discounts. So that's my tips on the ferries. Now we are going to move on to different things regarding driving and rules and regulations. So for most of us Scandinavians, we are traveling through Denmark. So I will begin with Denmark. So rules and regulations for Denmark, there really are not many. But if you, like me, are driving a motorhome that weighs more than 3.5 tons, you are in for a treat. Maximum allowed speed driving through Denmark in a vehicle above 3.5 tons is 80 kilometers an hour. They are really strict on this, so driving through Denmark, keep 80 and drive in the right lane. There are, however, a possibility to get around this. You can book an appointment with the Danish traffic authorities, and you can get a sticker on your vehicle. This will allow you to drive 100 kilometers an hour. I have not done this myself because driving through Denmark, it's not far, and it is a hassle going to get this sticker, but it is absolutely possible. So, and then when we walk along this cold path through Hadla Fortress, let's talk a little bit about Germany and France. So Germany, basically there are not many rules. Above 4.5 tons, follow the heavy traffic. Not many rules at all when it comes to driving. But then it gets exciting when you enter France. And this again is only if you have a vehicle that is above 3.5 tons. You will have to get some stickers. They say Angles Mort, which are 3 stickers. You need one on each side in the front of the vehicle, and you need one on the back of the vehicle. And again, there are rules and regulations to this as well. So if you are just driving through France and only on motorways, you will not have to have this sticker. But if you go off the beaten path by just a little bit, you definitely will need to have them. They are sold in different countries, like you can get them here in Norway, but they are extremely expensive. So my best tip is, when you get to Germany, stop at a truck stop or gas station for trucks. They all have these, and you can get a full set for 6-7 euros, and that's it. So Now that we are well on our way to Spain, it's time to talk about how do you find places to park or stay. It's not as easy as it used to be due to the vast amount of motorhomes going to Spain, especially in the winter time. Now, when you are driving, for instance, along the coastline, which most of us do, in and around the bigger cities, it is almost impossible to find free park-ups if you have a larger motorhome. So my motorhome is about 8 meters long, including the bike rack, and it's quite tall. So in most of the cities now, you will find that most parking spaces have a height barrier. So they are usually 2 to 2.2 meters, and you are not able to drive under those. That you will find along all the coastlines. Even in some cities, you will find signs at the city border saying that parking of motorhomes is illegal inside the entire city. So what do? So for if you have a smaller like van or such, it is of course possible to find regular parking spaces, but camping is in general not allowed. If you have a bigger rig like we, you will have to stay at airs, campsites, whatever. And we use a few apps to find these. So the first one we use is Park for Night. The thing to look out for when you're using Park for Night is on Park for Night you will find hundreds and thousands of places to park your motorhome. Just read carefully in the notes, because if you come in a bigger motorhome, it might not be suitable for you. What we use as a guidance here is if we find a on Park for Night, we use Google Maps. Satellite view, zoom in, see if this is something that is actually feasible. Quite easy, it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of preparedness, but it's better to spend those few minutes checking this out before you arrive to a place where you cannot park anyway. So now it's time to talk about a discount card that I use a lot. So I myself, I work in the tourist industry, which means I work a lot in the summer and I do my travel off season. There is a way to get really good discounts on campsites. So that is something called the ACSI card. I will have a link in the description below. So the ACSI card basically is a card that gives you discounts off season. Along with the cards, you get 2 books. And I would advise you to not use those books because they are not very well organized. So I would advise you to pay a little bit extra. I think it's €3.95 to get the ACSI app. The ACSI app lets you put in filters like how many stars or the rating of the campsites, if you want to be near the beach, if you want, whatever, toilets, Wi-Fi, whatever, you can put in those filters. The ACSI card itself is for 2022, I think I paid €16.95 for that and €3.95 for the app. This card gives you massive discounts. So it's organized in a way that they have 3 or 4 fixed rates. I think now this year it's 17, 19 and 22 euros. That's a fixed rate, and you will pay nothing more than that. It also includes, for instance, a limited amount of electricity, free showers. If you have a dog, you will not have to pay extra for the dog. So I'm using this ACSI card a lot, and for instance, on a 3-day stay in a 5-star campsite, I have gotten all my money back because I get more than 20 euros discount. I can give you an example. I was in a campsite in Benicassim. Without the camping card from ACSI, the rate was with a dog, with electricity, showers and everything, it was 38 euros a night. With the ACSI card, I paid 22. So in those 3 days alone, I got all my money back for what I have spent on the ACSI card. I will put a link below where you can buy the ACSI card. But if you are in a hurry, it is also sold in many like motorhome stores or campsites and whatever. And I will also leave a link below where you can find a list of where to buy the ACSI card. So now that we have spoken about the ACSI card, documents and papers, rules and regulations, let's talk about something that can make your life a little bit easier when traveling to Spain. So what I'm going to talk about is LPG, your gas bottles. So in my car, I have refillable bottles. I have 2 of them, and they are mounted in a way that they comply with the rules and regulations in Spain, Italy, France, Germany, you name it. So as you might be aware of, there are many different types of bottles and fittings, and it's not easy if you come, for instance, with Norwegian, Swedish, English gas bottle, whatever, to get it filled in Spain. Basically what you need is either the system that I have in my vehicle, which are refillable bottles, or you will need to get a Spanish bottle. The Spanish bottle, they can be hard to get a hold of. So now you have to go to, for instance, Repsol, and if you want to have a bottle bought from them, you will have to give them some identity that shows that you do have a resident address in Spain. That is not possible for most of us. So what you then can do, you can go to markets and such and find second-hand ones. If you have one, then you can go back to Repsol and you can swap it out. It's a bit difficult, and you also will need to buy a fitting that suits this particular Spanish bottle. Those you can get in most hardware stores in Spain, but you will have to change the fitting in your vehicle. So the system that I have in my vehicle makes everything way much easier. So I have 2 bottles that I have swapped for ALUGAS refillable bottles. Now those come in quite pricey, but they make life a hell of a lot easier. So for installing 2 bottles with the fittings and such, that makes it so that it applies to the rules and regulations all over Europe, for that I paid about 2,000 euros. But that gives me about 44 kilograms of LPG capacity, and I use I'll put a link down below, as I usually do. There is a website that shows you every single place where you can fill these bottles in Europe. So the whole package, it comes with 4 different adapters that you just screw those on. So what you do have is you have the bottles, they need to be fixed inside the cupboard where your gas bottles are. So I just have 2 metal bands around every bottle, and that makes them fixed. So it's considered to be a fixed tank. So I cannot remove them without tools. So you need to make sure, if you buy these, that you have them fixed in your vehicle. Also, what I see many people do, and which leads them into having problems, is that they mount the filler on the bottle itself. So the filler cap. What you need to do is have that on the outside of the vehicle. So if you do that, you will have no problems. So then I set 4 adapters. I just screw the correct one onto the filler cap outside on the vehicle, and I can fill wherever. So especially in Italy, if you have a refillable bottle, they will still not fill it if you have to open the locker where you have the gas bottles. So I myself have been to Italy with the motorhome and this system, and it has been no problem at all. But for instance, one time when we pulled up to the gas stations, there was another couple there, and they also had the ALUGAS refillable bottle, but were not able to fill them up because they had the filler cap mounted directly onto the bottle inside the gas locker. So make sure they are fixed and secure, and you have an outside filler cap. So ALUGAS refillable bottles, that is what I have. You can get them in different brands, but they make life a hell of a lot easier. It's quite a huge investment, but I haven't regretted it for one moment. And then just a quick jump back to strange rules and regulations in Spain. This one regards the ones that are driving with a bike rack on the back of their vehicle, as I do. So in Spain they have this strange rule that says your bike rack cannot protrude more than 10% of your vehicle's total length, which means if you have a 7-meter motorhome, your bike rack cannot protrude more than 70 centimeters off the back of the vehicle. It is quite a strange rule, but if you have like 4 bikes, it might be a problem. Also, when it comes to bike racks, throughout Europe, you will have to have this sign on the backs of mounted on the back of your vehicle, which is just a square with red and white stripes going across. So you will have to have that. If you don't have, I can guarantee you, you will be pulled over. So also, another tip when driving in Spain is if you come close to or approach a traffic light and you see a yellow blinking light, this light indicates something very special. At or below the speed limit, the traffic light will change and let you by. If you approach above speed limit, the light will maintain red until you slow down. So that's just a small good tip for making a good flow in your driving. Well, now it gets dark. It gets dark really early here in western parts of Norway. So just one last tip. If you, like I, am driving off-season, which basically means wintertime, to Spain, it is regarding the winter tires. So not everywhere in Spain is winter tires mandatory, but somewhere it is. You will have to have winter tires or snow chains. So basically what I do, I drive studless winter tires. Makes things a little bit easy, but just be aware these studless winter tires are not made to be driven in higher temperatures. So for instance, on my last trip, it was winter when we came back to Norway, so I had to have winter tires on the car, but I did 10,000 kilometers in hot weather in Spain, and the tires are not constructed to withhold that. So what happens is, for the studless tires, they get hard and useless. So before going back down again, I will have to buy new tires. So even though they look fine, they are not fine anymore. So also, I consider tires to be fresh goods. So I myself do not use tires that are more than 5 years old. Just make sure your tires are good. If you're driving in wintertime and are going up in the mountains or the higher cities, just be aware winter tires or snow chains is mandatory. And yes, I can say it is freezing cold here at Herdla Fort. I'm going back to the warm car, getting back home, having a hot cup of chocolate. But I hope you found some of these tips, tricks and hints to be useful. If you haven't been here before, please follow, like and subscribe. I will soon be heading down to Spain again, so I will be leaving in about 3 weeks from now. So I will be leaving in the beginning of January 23, and I will continue posting videos of that trip. So this time I will be away for about 2 months, give or take. Let's just see what turns out. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again. Bye bye for now.